Don't blink, it's your boy Yink from Commercial. Today I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on this gorgeous, and I do mean gorgeous, 9th September 25. We are in front of a gorgeous moon. I'm going to make sure that the moon is apparent, which is important to me because, of course, I love the moon. I want to come on here today for one of the more, I would say, bizarre video. And I do a lot of bizarre video, but this one I feel like it's a very bizarre one. It's a self shout out. It's a self shout out, you know. Um, Lately I'm having a gum. I'm so sorry. When I'm not filming, I always have a gum, not a gun. I have a gun, but it's a pew pew, not a real gun. Um, when I'm not filming, I always have gum in my mouth because I want to mew. First of all, second of all, it's just a good way to keep the brain active. In my opinion, you keep the body active, you keep the brain active. So lately, life has been pretty similar, to be honest. Pretty similar. Like, for example, we're always doing some recap. We're always doing the same thing. We are taking care of the tower. For the last 2 weeks, all we did was take care of the tower, right? Now, I got some good news because I think starting from tomorrow, I'll be able to do it. I'll be able to do it in an idle way. But at the same time, I want to give myself a shout out because I do feel like we're working hard. I do feel like we're putting in effort. I do feel like whatever we are doing it's worth it, you know? It's worth it. There's a ton of things I could do, right? For example, tonight I was supposed to work and my shift was canceled because the guy who was supposed to train me for work called in sick. And of course, it's my first day. So I will be left in a store when there's no customer. So if I was a bit of a dishonest guy, let's put it like that. If I was a bit of a dishonest guy, I could just go in and steal. And I'll be completely honest, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody went there and stole using the very same thing. So they want to have somebody there to train me, but also to say, hey, is this guy for real? Is this guy? This is my opinion. This is my train of thoughts. You know, I was told by a friend not a long time ago. Asshole assumes. Well, I guess I'm an asshole, you know. So because of that, we didn't really have the shift tonight, and I was kind of. My first thought was, hey, we're gonna make some content instead. I was kind of happy because I was like, okay, well, I get to make content. It's pretty good. But then after that, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, dude, you have the job. All you need to do is show up. That's half the work there. Showing up every single day, that's half the work. And yes, you get to make content, but you were ready. My lunch was ready. My bike was charged. Everything was ready to go there, you know? And it's, two weeks. It's a shame because at the first instances of it is a positive video, so don't get me wrong, this is still a positive video. At the first instances of work didn't plan out the way it is. Oh, we're going right away. Don't blink, it's buying. Moon in the plane, moon in the plane, and moon in the plane. The first instances that we have where it's like, well, you're not going to work. This is perfect. You're not gonna have as much light in my face, but you're gonna have both the playthrough in the background and the moon. So this is really nice. Yeah, this is really nice, and the lighting is perfect. Like I was saying, it's not perfect, of course, but at the same time, I do feel like it's kind of cool because it shows how motivated I am. However, it's completely counterproductive because I'm choosing to work, yes, for financial reason, of course, I think I used to judge people for that. I used to judge people for the fact that you're doing something that you don't want to do because for money, right? But and now we're doing the same thing. But at the same time, it's not about the money. It's about what you do with that money, right? If I need to work to make that dream, to afford some meals at the restaurant, to afford some accessories I can use, to afford a new camera, then I'll do it. I don't care as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, which is the goal of life, right? To do what you're supposed to do is the goal of life. By the way, if you're looking for the secret of life, to do what you're supposed to be doing, and if you are lucky, when you're doing that, you're happy, and when you're not, if you're not lucky, then doing what you're supposed to do makes you sad, and you gotta find a way to do what you're supposed to be doing, but to be happy. This is the secret of life, okay? In this job, this job was also supposed to be a break from making content, so not to be an obsession, to have a social life, to have a life outside of just making content, right? I love my social life, I love my community, I love you guys. However, you need human contact, you need to touch grass, right? And let's just say that having an excuse to do it, having a reason to do it, which is work, which is a need, and not a want, a need. I need to versus I want to. That need to will push you to do something that you don't want to do it. But when you don't want to do it, you realize that it wasn't that bad, and then you missed out on an opportunity because you didn't want to do it. But then you forced to do it, and it's kind of nice, right? It's like this girl. Fuck. This is gonna be like a coming out, right? I was chatting with this girl right last year, and we're having fun. And she's super out of my league. She's gorgeous. So we're talking, and she wants me to watch. It's on YouTube. It's for free. She wants me to watch a musical, and that musical was Matilda. And I was like, oh my god, I know that movie because I was born in the 90s, of course. So I'm watching Matilda, and I gotta say, it wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. So then she said, what do you think about it? I said, oh, it's okay. I didn't want her to feel like, oh my god, she made me discover fire. She invented the wheel, in my opinion. So I said, I played it down, but I said, it was good. It was okay. And then she said, okay, well, I'll send you something special, which is, if you watch this. And she sent me Hamilton. And although Matilda, in my opinion, was great, because it was better than the movie, it was good. It was better than the movie, and it was like, okay, well, this is more fun than the movie. And it's kind of like a something that I know, but something I don't know. So she was gonna send me some content, I guess, but like that, that is adult nature. If I was watching the video, and the video was a musical, which is Hamilton, and it was possibly some of the best thing I saw in my life. My mind was blown. Now, with that girl, it didn't work out because she had a boyfriend, by the way. She had an open relationship, but okay, I'm not gonna talk about it because I have to say it now because it was an open relationship on her side, not on his side. I bite the inside of my cheek, and it hurts. It hurts. It really hurts. So we go in, and it's kind of nice. It's kind of really nice actually. So again, today I need to go to work, and I was ready, and I was like, it's the point that I didn't go, right? But then we go to the second part of this video, and it's the fact that even though we were supposed to do X, we ended up not doing X, and because I didn't do X, I feel like I missed out. But because I didn't do X, I was allowed to do Y, which I thought I was wanting to do Y. X is work, Y is video, by the way. And I was like, oh. But then after that, I said, you know what? Fuck it. And I realized just how much I've been working the couple last days, last week, the whole prison break things. We work so hard lately, and it doesn't seem as much effort because usually when I come up with videos, I come up with creativity, and now I'm recapping something which is easier. It has to be entertaining, but it's easier. And it's as much fun. It's also as much work, So, kind of proud of myself. And I feel like this is an important thing to talk about. You should be proud of the person you are. You should be proud of the thing that you accomplish. You should be proud of every single step you take. No matter how small they are, you should be proud. Because guess what? Life is just a marathon. Oh my god, I shouldn't say this. This is disgusting. I shouldn't say this. This is disgusting. Ah, Ink, don't say it. Life is a marathon, okay? You know the finish line? You know that it is? You know the finish line where the whole goal is to get to the finish line? That's death. And you don't want to go to death, right? So yeah. So everything you do is a step forward leading to death. Which is like, whoa. So then what you do is you stay put. And when you say put, you're like, fuck. I'm wasting my life. So, for example, if you were to stay put, I want to do it nice. I want to do it funny. If you were to stay put, what would happen? They would just cancel the marathon. They would just like, bro, fuck it. You're not going to partake, you're dead. Yeah. And this is how I end the video. If you don't partake, you're dead. Such a douche. Do you know why I'm laughing? I want to know why, the exact truth. The majority of my life. Okay, so you could say it's a medication for ADHD, but you could say when I was in the apartment, I chose to do nothing. Now I'm doing something. Is that enough? No. I still wasted years of my life. I had fun, but I wasted them. And thinking I'm doing something, thinking I'm moving forward because the marathon is still going on. Still going on. And then you realize that the marathon has been going on without you even knowing. Your friends, they have kids. Your friends are married. Your friends, they have houses. Your friends, they have amazing jobs. Your friends, they're going for steak dinner. Like, holy shit, how do you afford that? So, well, I have the same job for a while. I'm like, oh, okay. You know? And then you ask yourself the question, was there always a marathon and I just didn't know? Was this always a race? And then you left behind. You're like, fuck. Can't catch up. And then you do your best to catch up, right? Because you don't want to be left behind. If there's a fear, it needs to be left behind. If there's a fear, it's to be left behind. So you speed it up. You speed it up and you speed it up and you speed it up and you speed it up. Until you reach your end, which is death. And then you realize that you wasted your life trying to catch up to others and not living your life. Huh? You're thinking about death. We have an elite that's gonna kill me. The elite's gonna kill me. We did 892. Oh, you survived like a brute. You think about death a lot, right? Because you're scared of death. But you're hyper aware that death is the end and you're not gonna avoid it. So then you know that you're gonna die. It's really bothering me. And then you're deaf, and then you're busy. Your knowledge that death's gonna come, you cannot avoid it. So what you do? I don't want to regret anything when I'm dying. So imagine living your life, doing anything you can to avoid having regrets when you die. Which is insane. Which is insane. You know? And I was watching today, I'm not going to say the couple because I like the couple, I don't want to talk shit about them. I was thinking this couple, right? And they have this kid, and this kid's adorable. He's a good little lad, you know? They're British, I think. Good little lad. And they have a baby daughter, right? And they film the first time the baby boy meets the baby girl. And in my opinion, it was a really cool moment. And it was a really nice moment, and it was beautiful. And the mom was crying, the father was so proud. The father was petting the hair of his son because he's like, you're a good big brother, I'm proud of you. Then it's like, oh, I started watching the video, and I finished the video, and I'm like, wow, I'm so kind of lucky that I've been witnessing this, you know. A couple minutes pass, and I feel weird. I understand filming it because it's important. I felt weird watching that. I felt weird. It's like, that's a private moment. Why did I watch that? You know? I feel kind of perverted. I feel perverted to be getting into people's life and, oh man, you remember when he met his little sister? That was such a cool moment. You're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to saw that. And there's also a question. For example, I'm watching a lot of music videos, and that's the way they do it, which is perfect. They show themselves when they were young. For example, there's this band which is Murder Mittens. That's the name of the song. And they showed themselves being young, and they're playing their brother. They're playing each other. You said Mac Miller, and best day ever. You see himself singing and rapping as a hip to the hip to the hip to the ha. Then what you think is not a photo rapping to the beat. Me the goon. Now I say, what am I? And I like to say hello. And it was just a cool moment because you saw that. And it was cool because you see the artist in front of you. You see him, how it was always part of the plan, right, to make music. But I don't know. It's just odd. It's just odd. What are we talking about that? Well, it's a good question. Because with death is there's life. With the cradle, there's come the. That's up. I fucked it up. With the grave come the cradle. Yeah. And you realize that the only way to escape for death is to leave something behind. Your money won't matter. Your belonging won't matter. How many people in freaking Ukraine had multi-generational house that got destroyed by missiles, right? Their whole life didn't mean anything. What you leave behind, you leave a person behind, right? You leave a kid behind, right? And then you leave a kid behind, right? And you're like, okay, well, this is my legacy. The kid's, in his mind, is like, your legacy? No, this is my life. This is not yours, this is my life. And then you come to the realization that my parents are coming to lately, 30 years later. That, okay, well, this is his life, we respect that. If we need some help, we're gonna help him. And at the end, if he turns out to be a good person, then we did it good. If he ends up being a bad person, then we fucked it up, you know? And then you leave it to hope. You leave it to the hope, and this is a beautiful thing. You don't leave it to the hope that you're... They don't leave it to... Okay, this is a beautiful thing. This is less beautiful. You don't leave it to hope that you're a good kid. You're a good person. They leave it to hope that they did enough to make sure that you were a good person. Yeah. My mom, when I do something wrong, she says, I'm sorry, this is not funny. When I do something wrong, my mom says, wait, I'm so sorry. I'm in a good mood because we're working hard, and now I'm tired, and I have the whole day of work, so I'm tired. And this is why we're a bit more aloof. When I do something wrong, my mom often asks me, did I do something wrong? Wait. When I do something wrong, my mom often says, did I do something wrong when you were a kid? For the first time she said that. I was really, because I don't know what to say. I said no. I said no. Why? This is not normal behavior. Okay, so you're blaming yourself for the way you act. But this is also such a big burden that I have. This is horrible because I have to act accordingly, appropriately. I have to honor the education that I have by being a good person. That if you're being a good person to make your parents proud, it's not okay, because you have to be a good person because you want to be a good person, and because you need to. It's like about job, want versus need. Hello, you understand? It's the same thing. If you're a good person because you want to be a good person, if you're a good person because it's natural to you. Understand? Now, there's this question that comes to mind. This question is what? That's a good question. This question goes along the line of nature versus nurture. The way you raise, does it matter, or nature? But if you're young enough and you're taught that kindness is the only way, then this has become nature to you, right? It becomes the only way. It's become the only way, it's natural to you. So the nurture becomes nature, and the nature is who you are, right? There's even like a question, like if the parent is addicted to drugs or whatever, if the kid is going to be addicted to, can you, okay, could you, this is going to be very personal. My grandfather was an alcoholic. My father never got drunk in his life. He drinks a little bit, but he drinks a beer when it's a warm day, when he works hard. He's gonna drink with his family, but he never got drunk. And then you realize that the reason why my father doesn't drink is because he saw his father life destroyed by alcohol, right? So the nurture becomes to do the opposite of the wrong example presented to you. However, is it because my grandfather was an alcoholic? Is it because that my father might be an alcoholic or not be? For example, my father will start drinking and I'll become an alcoholic quicker than a normal person because my father was an alcoholic, you know? And I don't know if it's hereditary, but you see in your house, if you see drugs lying around, if you see alcohol lying around, you're gonna be drinking. My father every single day was making coffee. And as a kid, I don't have a lot of memories when I kid because again, hyperactivity and the ADHD medication kind of fuck up your balance, right? Your hormones. And I remember distinctly smelling my father's coffee. It smelled good. My mom was a social butterfly. Everybody knows her. She's nice to everybody. My mom, who taught me that it was normal to talk to everybody. You know? Yeah. So it becomes such a natural thing because you see your parents. You want to emulate monkey see, monkey do, right? I'm the monkey in that sentence. So you do it. But it's not your nature, it's just nurture. But then it's your nature because your parents are your parents are your DNA setup. And because your DNA set up, some trait of their personality, some trait of their gonna be, you know? You know? You know? I was working with this guy, and this is a personal story. He's a really nice. He's like a friend of family. You guys remember when I did the demolition work? Yeah, he was a friend of family, super nice guy. So he said, "Oh, you talk fast." I said, "Well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do my good. I'm usually talking in English, right?" You know what he says? "Yes, your father talk fast too." I'm like, for a quick second. This happened this summer. So I'm 32 years old. But the first time, I'm like, wait. Is it hereditary? And for a second I doubted. I'm like, no, I speak really fast, don't worry about it. But yeah, life is a finicky things. Life is a finicky thing. And when you realize just how finicky it is, it's too late. So you live doing what you think is right. And if you're lucky, you're right. And if you're wrong, well, I gotta go 5-6% batteries.